I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Welcome back, everyone, to episode 5 of Siren, Mommy and Me. Things are getting juicy. Rin's a new mom. Ben's changing. Ben's dad is looking for answers. Katrina chose Tia over her tribe with Rin, which is insane. I'm your host, Karla, and I definitely couldn't do this without my co-host, Nyjah. Hey.
Hello, everybody. Hey, Karla.
How are you, girl?
I am doing great besides being hot and everything, but everything is fine.
I know. I'm like, ooh, turn the AC on, but it makes too much noise. So we have it off for right now, guys. We're so excited to cover this episode. Before we do have our special segment as well, which Nia is going to be providing for us. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Before we jump into everything, what are some of your overall thoughts?
Oh my gosh. So just overall, I was excited about Ren coming back to land, for one. 2, a little disappointed in Ben still. Last episode, I was still disappointed in him. So he's still disappointing me at this moment. But all in all, good episode. A lot of stuff that we have to actually cover today. So
I know, I feel like there's at least like 10 to 12 characters in every single episode. So many storylines. I'm like trying to look back at old notes. Like what? Like who is this character? What's their role in this? But yeah, it's crazy. Let's get right into it. So we have Rin as a new mom, which makes me, I have so many questions just about that. But just to start off, do you see it? Do you think it's possible for her baby to be like half on land, half in the ocean, and be fully functional in both water and land?
So as of right now, I don't think the baby should probably even be on land, because when it was born, it was kind of like a little bit deteriorating, kind of, if you want that word. I think it needs to be in water first and then probably come out into land, so she gets that water aspect before just being on land as a land baby. She needs to have the true self of her and then come later.
See, I 100% agree with you. As I was watching the episode, I was kind of thinking, like, in regards to myself, how I've been like bilingual my whole life, and I've learned English and Spanish, but I don't know one language perfectly because I'm bilingual. So I was like, there's no way a baby can be like half mermaid, half human, and be excellent at both. Like you're kind of have to be dominant with one over the other. So I feel like it's way better if the baby just goes into the water for now, learns what she needs to learn, and then come out and then try to adapt. I kind of feel like trying to, because Tia seems like the most advanced mermaid we've seen so far. She literally seems like a human to me.
Right. She studied humans so well to the point that she's about to dang near be one. So
exactly. So I feel like if there was one or another that she could kind of be the mentor for the baby, it's like the best chance it has to being like a normal human. Because even Rin is super awkward still, and she's been on land for a long time.
Right. She's still trying to figure it out. So
were you worried when she joined the mommy group?
Oh my gosh, yes. I was like, she's about to spill her beans, and she kind of did, and all the moms was like looking at her crazy, like, what is she talking about? So what does she do with her baby? And then it was kind of funny at the same time, because she was just like, so no, like, this is not what we're supposed to do. And Maddy's all trying to help her out and stuff.
Yeah, it was super crazy. I literally just thought, like, people are going to call CPS on you, okay? You are talking crazy, girlfriend. Like, you cannot be saying these things. Right. It's so crazy how she still doesn't kind of fully grasp being human. And it's like, when they were asking her, like, what, like, when she saw a baby cry, she was like, what is it doing? And they're like, crying. Your baby never cries. If my baby cries, it'll be eaten. And I'm like,
yeah, Maddy, I'm like, so these people think it's something's gonna come and eat her baby. Like,
yeah, it's so
I was just
crazy.
laughing at that part. I was just like,
yeah, it was a recipe for disaster. Do you ever feel like there will come a time when she will be maybe kind of closer to where Tia is, or just normal as a human, or you don't see that?
I think so, because she's still trying trying to learn everything that she possibly can to understand humans. And since she has like Ben and Maddy there to like kind of guide her, I feel like she will reach Tia's potential and everything that she has and be kind of like Tia because she's very adamant about it. So hopefully through the process of the baby and everything, she will become more human like soon.
Hopefully, yes, hopefully sooner rather than later. As this episode progresses, we see that Tate and who is the other one? Tate,
And
basically
Liam.
two, and Liam. Okay, Tate and Liam.
No, Levi. Sorry, Levi.
Yes, Levi, there you go. Tate and
Right.
Levi come back to land and they basically need to take the baby back because males are the ones who basically train them to be strong and to hunt and basically to be able to survive.
Right.
Did you do you think it was the right choice to send the baby into water? Because Helen thought so. She was like, you need to send him out. Rin was really against it. Eventually she budged, but do you think that was the best choice?
So to answer that, I feel like she was against it because she was kind of already attached and she's been waiting for the baby. But on the other hand, I do think that I agree with Helen too, that the baby should go into the water because it needs to learn that first and foremost before it's even on land trying to learn how to be a human. Because it is a mermaid rather than it being a human. And if it doesn't know how to fight, then the baby is kind of liable to die if something is to happen. So I think Levi and Tate are doing the right thing by coming to get the baby to train it because it's a necessity at this moment because they got everything that's going on with Tia too.
Exactly, yeah. What I thought was crazy was like I kind of feel like her not wanting to take it is kind of like her taking on like the human emotions, how we are like very humans are very
Right? That's how I
maternal.
thought too.
Yeah, but then and then I thought like, she said that she didn't see her mom again until she was way older. She doesn't seem affected by it. It seems like what happens just normally in water. So it's kind of crazy how she's kind of starting to blend into both, but I personally feel like it's a weakness at this point because you need to just think of basically survival of the fittest. I feel like that's what happens underwater. But I'm
That's
glad she
exactly
actually made that choice.
me too. It was a
Yeah.
good choice. It maybe have been a hard choice, but definitely a good choice for her baby because something that she needs to learn.
Yeah, definitely. We also see at the very beginning of the episode, so Ben's clearly changing and he's creating and he's recording himself as this is all happening. He, as of the beginning of the episode, had already taken 3 doses, which is what his mother
Right.
has taken. And his senses are so heightened already. Like his hearing is crazy. He can breathe. He was underwater for like 10 minutes. His reflexes are insane. His stamina while running. I
Everything.
think, yeah. Do you see him turning into maybe a mermaid, or is that not a possibility?
I don't know, but I'm just gonna say a prediction right now because I mean, why not? Because getting into a lot of stuff, I kind of see him trying to like, as all of this is progressing and he's getting all these effects of him being kind of like a mermaid. I think he's gonna end up going into the water one time and seeing exactly what happens. So if we see that in the next couple of episodes, I would not be surprised.
Yeah, me neither.
Making all of this for a reason.
I feel like with all this happening, I think if he's to be honest about what he's doing, and then kind of learn from him, like how to be strong, how to fight underwater, I think it can definitely help the whole war situation that's going on. Um, I don't know if him doing this really, really worries me. I
I
don't think
told you. I told you he's being a test dummy, and he
it
shouldn't.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, "Oh my god, Nigel's prediction was right." You, like, totally guessed it. I'm like, "Do you know something? Are you in that writer's room? What's going on here?"
You know, I just call predictions as I see it. You know,
No, yeah, it's insane. I think it's only a matter of time before they notice. Do you feel like he's maybe putting, the mermaids in danger or humans in danger by doing all of these things?
a little bit because I feel like it's a part of where they shouldn't be doing that. Trying to see if they can be like a mermaid because they'll never be like one because they weren't born that way. I guess you can say. So them trying to figure it out is just the scientist in him.
And because I feel like that's what it's really, really for. Clearly, these cells completely just change your body and give you like superhuman powers. So that allows her to walk,
Stay under there for a long time.
or maybe even they'll be like the what brings everyone together. You know, they're two normal people that have now gotten these cells and they have mermaid like qualities, and they're like, look, they're not so bad, we can all be one. That would be like the ideal in the perfect world situation.
That would. Do you think as he's doing all of this that more people are going to want to try and take the cells and stuff? Because I kind of think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think me too. I think with his mom progressing the way she is, she obviously can't be the only person with uh because what is she? What was the trauma she experienced? Basically, she just has no lower body movement. There's a lot of
Yeah,
people in those same situations, and I'm sure as she begins to progress, if she does, if they put more cells in her, who's not going to jump on that bandwagon? You know?
right. I mean, why not? If it gives you the chance to walk again, I would take it too.
Yeah, definitely.
I, would,
And
but
what was that? I'm sorry.
I said I would be a little nervous, but
I mean, yeah, definitely. There's definitely a lot of risks involved as well. In this episode, Ben's dad is getting very, very, very curious now that he knows the truth. Basically, he runs into Xander's mom and Patty, and she herself is like, "There's no way my husband would have had a freak accident. He spent his whole life at sea, and out of nowhere, he's gonna, fall overboard and get into an accident. Like, there's no way that's possible." And he starts just Googling all the weird things that have been happening in Crystal Cove since Rin appeared. And he's finally realizing, like, it's her that's causing all of this, her and her friends, basically. And I feel like I'm on Ben's dad's side with this. Like, I've been calling this. Like, they're stirring up a lot of trouble to where it's like, what's the advantage of having them on land, really?
right. Because if they're causing all this trouble and basically killing all of these people, then they just need to kind of, go back to where they came from. But
Yeah. So, and then he goes to Helen and starts asking questions, and she won't give them to him because I think he's more angry than anything else because the accident they had with his mom also stemmed from these mermaids that he saw, that were
right,
trying to attack him and her. So I just and then I think it was him or Helen that called it mermaid the twisted fairy tale because obviously people kind of romanticize the idea of a mermaid, but clearly they're very dangerous. Do you see him joining the side of like Maddie and Ben and being on board trying to save them, or do you think he'll take matters into his own hand? Definitely not in a positive way.
that is a good one. Because he's curious about everything and he's more so kind of mad at what's going on, I think he's kind of going to be against it and not try and help because I kind of feel like he's against everything that Ben does and gets taken into. So with that, he's definitely going to be against anything because he sees everything that these mermaids are doing and that how they're causing all these problems. But if he finds out a little more and understands them, then there's a possibility where he can maybe be on their side halfway,
Yeah.
possibly.
So when he's talking to Helen, toward the end of the episode, he kind of says like, nothing is under control, and Helen's like, no, we have this under control. He's like, you don't. Why do you think that Helen and Maddie and Ben hold on to trying to save the mermaids so badly?
Because I feel like they want to protect them in a way because they are these different type of creatures that they found out about. So they want to protect them and keep them to where nobody else knows about them, which is a
Hmm.
good thing because, when people find out about stuff like that, they automatically want to do tests and everything else that may pop into their head. So they just want to kind of keep it a secret, which is
I don't want to be the bad guy in all of this, but I am so on his side. Like, I think at what cost are you going to continue learning more information? A lot of people are getting hurt. And unless I start seeing like this turn into a more positive way, I am on Ben's dad's side. I am fishy about the whole thing. It's just getting too crazy for my taste personally. And I feel like no progress is even being made underwater either. We see there's wars going on. Am I the only one? So when you're watching these episodes, can you tell what mermaids are what characters?
A
Or do you
little
struggle
bit
with that?
by their face, but then I get like confused until I see them like on land again. I'm like, oh, okay, that was them in the water. Like you can tell a little bit by their face, but
So
not fully.
I struggle with that so badly. I'm like, who am I looking at? Who's mad at who? Who's fighting who? It's kind of hard because I feel like they all have black hair and they kind of
Mhm.
like the scales and like their whole being just kind of looks the same. So I struggle with that. But in this episode, Katrina, which is actually someone from Rin's tribe who she was training in prior episodes,
Right.
now chooses Mia. She's like, we are family. You can come be one of us. Were you surprised that she made that choice?
I was because I was like, why is she doing that when she told Ren that she kind of wouldn't do that? So now she's kind of like betraying Ren in a sense. And I'm just like, dang, so now what is her tribe going to do? Are they going to like fight right here? Like, is that what's about to happen right now? Because Katrina didn't already switch sides, or what are they going to do? I didn't like that. I was kind of mad at Katrina.
She's shady.
Very shady. I'm like, girl, you already told her no, that you didn't want to come to her side, and now you're in the water, and you think you big and bad because Ren not there. So now you want to switch
And
up?
yes, and what killed me though
Messed
is that
up.
they let the mermaid that came back to life, I want to say it's Cammy, if I'm not mixing her up with another
Yeah.
one. They let her go, but the other ones who went against Katrina's choice, they ended up killing off and fighting. So not only do you choose Tia, but you are switching up on your own people. Like that is so fake of you.
So shady. So
Yeah,
shady.
I thought it
But
was
she
crazy. And
already
then
seemed shady from the beginning when I first met Katrina. She seems a little iffy, a little anger
she gave me that, yeah,
problem.
she gave me that vibe too. Do you remember what her story is? So she originally is from Tia's tribe actually, and I want to say she got lost. I don't know what
So
the
um I think she either got, it was kind of like a lost and left type of thing. She got left somewhere, and then Rand's tribe found her and then took her in as their own.
yeah. So I mean, I kind of understand maybe why she made that choice. I mean, when you're born into a situation, it's kind of like being adopted, you know, you like always want to know who your biological parents are and like you want to look for answers. So I can see why she made that choice. But knowing what Tia's true motive is would have been enough for me to be like, no, I'm not going to do that. Rin clearly is trying to do everything the right way. So kind of now it just worries me because I think, okay, she knows Rin's strategies, her strength, her fighting, her goal. So now she has like that information to take to Tia, you know?
Right.
So hopefully this isn't a huge like disadvantage to Rin. But she delivers her message and says um that either Rin goes back in the water and joins them or she dies. And at the end of the episode, we see Rin jump back into the water. So I think war is for sure coming. Like,
Yes, but if there's a war coming, like Ren doesn't have anybody to help her fight except for Cammy. And then
true.
Levi and Tate, and then the baby. And I kind of think that they're gonna take the baby. So it's a lot that I think that is gonna
You
happen.
know
And
what? She does have Levi and Tate.
yeah.
So she has to have maybe a few people. I'm sure by next episode we'll know more. Before we move on to our special segment, I wanted to touch on Rob and Maddie really quick. So I
Oh,
feel
let's
like
get to it, please. Oh my goodness.
I feel like as the episodes go on, I get more and more suspicious of him. So now he wants to he wants to rent out the warehouse and Ben's like no.
Mhm.
And Maddie goes against his wishes. Who whose side are you on with that? Maddie or Ben's?
I'm on Ben's side because, for one, you really don't know nothing about him. And just by watching him on the show, he's a little too curious for me. And like I said last
Yes.
week, that he keeps popping up at places that he should not be. So he's a little too nosy and just wanting to find stuff out. And it's like now we see that he's about to find some stuff out because Maddie freaking takes him into the, what is it called?
The warehouse?
Oh, yeah. She takes him into the warehouse, and now they see the mermaid, and now he's going to be even more curious as to what that is, because he's the one who kind of sniffed it out.
Yeah, I think what's so crazy, one thing that we've kind of been bringing up throughout these episodes is how he kind of just keeps ending up in Crystal Cove. And it's like out of all of the places that you have access to do your research, so you can make your machines to clean out the oceans, now you're going to stay in Crystal Cove. Like you can go anywhere, but you're going to stay here. It just like you said, he seems a little too curious. I feel like he senses maybe something is up, something is off, and that's why he wants to stay. But I don't get a good feeling about this. And I think Maddie's being super naive. Were you
just like some solid is
yeah.
somebody.
Do you think it's wrong of them to mix business with pleasure? Because that's what's happening. Maddie's like, get me involved. I want to be a part of it. I want to work with you. Do you think that's a good idea?
It's always a little tricky with that stuff. I mean, it could go good or it could go bad. In this case, I think it's going to go bad, and I think she's making the wrong choice. Like, if she wants to help him with his project, then help him with that and do it somewhere else where your guys' secret isn't being spilled.
Yes.
But don't bring him in.
Today, let's say if he were to see something happen, like you at that point have to choose, do you choose him and the work he's trying to do, which is obviously amazing, or do you choose the people you've been trying to protect for months now? I think it's going to get too complicated. What do you think their relationship consists of at this point?
They're still in a thruple. There's literally still a connection. And then all together, it's like a big old triangle that's just connecting to one another. But it's a little weird.
Yeah, I can't imagine Rob being okay with her making out with Rin. Imagine it just becomes like what's past the thruple? What's 4 people? An orgy?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Oh gosh.
It's
hopefully
so crazy.
My goodness.
The last thing I kind of want to touch on about this episode is Annie. Annie, what's her last name? Annie Brennan. So it's Xander's. He's with her in the academy to be a police. And she sees Tate and Levi go into the water with the baby, and she spazzes out.
She was
what do you
going
think?
Right.
Yeah. And she called the police. What do you think would have been the best move Xander could have made at that moment? Because he literally didn't do anything other than deny.
Because he was drinking, but he doesn't really care that much about the mermaid, so it's just like he's gonna brush it off, of course, and because he's trying to start his new life. But what he should have did was not basically tell her, but maybe kind of like push her away, kind of, or like turn her around or something to where she didn't see it.
I would have exactly. I would have turned her around and started making out with her. For all we know, she's bi. She may like men too. Start making out with her, distract her.
I think she likes him a little bit though.
Me too.
I think she likes him. She's always got something to say.
Exactly.
So.
Like when you pick on someone a little too much, it
means
them, no? Yes. It's like tough love. I definitely would have played it off though. I think she's too new to the situation to know everything, or he could have played the card like he was like, we're both just really drunk. I wouldn't have let her call the police though, because it makes everyone look bad. And if he would have kind of gone along with her story, it kind of would have blown everything up. But I think this is definitely going to stir up some trouble. And I
definitely be mad at him and probably stop talking to him for a little bit because he denied everything when the police came.
Or she can just hang out by the ocean all the time and wait for it to happen again to prove her point.
Some people might do that. She might do that too. I wouldn't be surprised. People seem to be a little curious when it comes to these mermaids they see.
Yeah, definitely. Would you like I feel like we covered everything for this episode. There's so much going on. I'm so excited for next week. Until then, do you want to get into our special segment?
Yes. So last week let me just start out and say this. We're going to go into our special segment, Mermaid. Yes. Last week we talked about weather workers. So why not touch bases with sirens? Because we kind of see what sirens are, or what they're kind of telling us that they are. So let's see if what this says is actually correct. It says sirens are dangerous spirits of the sea that can conjure storm and fog, foretell death, read minds, and wreak havoc of every level. For a long time, they were one of the sources of blame of many shipwrecks and deaths on long sea journeys. So
They're
our
angry.
right? They're very angry.
They mad.
You know, I mean, we do see them angry in most of these episodes, but then we see some happy sides, so it's a little mixture of both. But I kind of feel like what they're saying is kind of right. What do you think?
Yeah. No, let me tell you, I'm waiting. I feel so bad, like not disliking them, but kind of like disliking them a little bit. I feel like the only really nice one we've seen so far is Rin. All the other ones, she basically has to talk them down from hurting her friends.
Right.
So
Every
I
time,
want
they always
every single time. So it makes me wonder, where they're taking this story, how it's going to continue evolving. Because at the moment, it seems like the only genuinely nice one is her, unless I mean Sage also. I don't think Sage ever did anything wrong, which is the one that Helen keeps connecting with. So I would like to see more of their softer side, or something that will maybe make all of them change their mind. But I agree with what you read off. They seem pretty problematic.
very problematic. And I feel like as we get into more episodes, since the war is kind of like initially about to happen, we're going to see a lot more havoc caused in Bristol Cove. So much stuff about to happen.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait.
Well, now that we're kind of talking about the future a little bit, what do you think is going to happen next episode?
Okay, so next episode, since we see Ren going into the water, and we also see Maddy and Rob find the mermaid. So Rob's going to get a little bit more curious, and he's going to start asking more questions and peeking his head around more often than he does now. Ren, I think, I don't know. She's going to go down there and probably have to talk to Tia, and they might fight down there, or she'll end up coming back to land and they'll fight on land. I don't know with that part. I'm just worried more so for her.
Yeah, me too.
What about you?
I think Ben's secret's for sure out at this point. Maddie's going to be asking questions. I doubt she's going to see that body and think nothing of it. I think, like you said, Rob's definitely going to get curious. I think a lot more people are going to start finding out. Because if you think about it, Rob now saw the body, basically. Annie was drunk and saw them go into the ocean. Ben's dad knows more now. You have 3 characters that are all finding out different things. I think it's a matter of time before so many more people get involved, if not the government again.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I think it's about to get crazy. I think they're gonna I think it's gonna become like all of Crystal Cove knows that they exist. But we'll have to see. I feel like there's so many different directions this can all go in. I can't even imagine. It's just crazy. Right. Until next time, where can everyone find you, Naija?
Everybody can find me on Instagram at NADJEEE, 4 E's. I probably didn't say 4 E's with the underscore. So Naiji. And then on Twitter at Someone Say Naija. And you guys can also catch me on the Run After Show on Mondays at 4 p.m.
Awesome. You can find me on Instagram at Karla Contreas and Twitter at Karla_C. And I also do Shots of Sunset and Dave. You want to check those out on our other channels. Until next week, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.